Hello and welcome. For many of us, buying a home is just a dream. Because of the high prices of homes and the very little income to match these prices of homes for many millennials. Now, for some people, the goal is to eventually at some point buy a home. There are a few key steps that you can actually start following today to help you get to your goal of owning a home at some point. And that's what we're going to discuss today. Now, buying a home does not happen overnight. Unless you've been saving up money for some years, or you actually have an inheritance, or you're just born into money, you can't just wake up and buy a home. There's actually a few years of saving, planning, and understanding the market and location to buy a home. The first key step on the journey to owning a home is to be financially healthy. There's a few key things under being financially healthy that we're going to quickly cover. First of all, being the credit score. Now, if you're hoping to get any mortgage at all, which most people who purchase their first homes will apply for, you want to ensure you have a right credit score to do that. A good credit score for most banks here in Canada is anywhere from 600 to 900 to be even considered worthy of getting a mortgage from any of the major financial institutions. So building a good credit score will be very helpful in actualizing your goal at some point. For example, if your goal is to buy a home, 2 to 3 years from now, you want to start today to build a good credit. Now, how can you build a good credit? By not maximizing your credit and paying down your credit as quick and as efficient as possible. All of these things are easier said than done, I know, but paying attention to your credit and making sure that you're making those payments, putting your best foot forward to ensure that you have a good credit with a good repayment history will help you actualize your goal. The second thing on the being financially healthy is having a healthy savings. A lot of people forget that if you're planning for something, you have to definitely save for it. So if your goal again is to buy a home in 2 to 3 years, you want to start today to start to save for that home. A healthy savings does not just prepare you for buying a home, but also prepares you for unforeseen expenses when you do own a home, or even before you do own a home. So having a good savings regardless is very important. I suggest starting to put some money aside, starting from 1% of your take-home income and then growing it up from there until you're more comfortable will help you build up a healthy saving. Now, number 2 on the step to owning a home would be income. The higher your income is, the more the home you can qualify for. Also with other factors like your credit score, which we discussed, and your savings for the home as well. So owning a home in a few years, you need to start today to think of what your income is going to be and how much you're going to need to qualify for the home. When you're going for the mortgage, your income is going to be taken into account, and you're going to look at your income based on how much you can afford every month. If your income does not meet the expectation, well, it is time to maybe start looking at a part-time job to help you beef up that income. Now, within Canada, it is expected you have a recurring income from either the same employer or from the same industry for a 2-year period. So you need to ensure you've been in your role for at least 2 years, or a similar role with any employer for at least 2 years, to guarantee continuous income for the mortgage provider. Now, usually the way income is calculated is 4 times your annual income. It starts to give you a rough estimate of what you can afford. Now, like I said, there's other factors that influence this, but a good way to look at it is if you make $40,000, your affordability is probably going to be around $160,000, maybe a bit of a nudge up if you have higher savings. If you want a $500,000 house, chances are you're going to need to be making around $125,000, or you're going to be able to save up the difference to cover up whatever it is you're making and the mortgage you're applying for. So for example, if you make $100,000, your mortgage is going to cover up to $400,000, maybe a little bit more depending on the factors, and then you're going to need to save up $100,000 for the down payment, again depending on other factors. That's sort of a rough way to look at it. 4 times your income is what your qualifying rate usually is. Some banks are a little bit more lenient and they can go a little bit higher and say 5 times your income. It all depends on all of your history, your savings, and your income combined. So that's number 2. Let's say you've done well to increase your credit score, you've done well to save some money and also improve your income over a given time. Now it's time to look at the lenders, the rates, and what are some of the terms and conditions for owning a home that you might want to consider. I usually advise people to shop around when it comes to lenders. Go to your primary financial institution, which is usually where you hold your checking, savings, credit cards, or loans, whatever it is you have. Start there, get a rate, and use that to shop around with a few different lenders and see if they can either match or beat the rate. Usually, most lenders would try to match. Very rarely here in Canada would you find lenders who beat the rates, but there are. That's why you have to look. Usually things are always flat across the board, but there are lenders who beat it by 0.15%, 0.25% here or there, and 0.25% in a mortgage can mean thousands of savings over the course of 5 years. Now you've beefed up your credit score, you've saved some money, you've gotten a rate, it's time to start looking. Looking is one of the most critical parts of the home because this is where you make the most money. Now I know what a lot of people are thinking is, why do I need to make money when I'm buying a home? Because the data shows most millennials today stay in their houses for about 6 to 7 years. For this video, I want you to take in the term that you need to find something in a location that is probably appreciating with a lot of amenities, and this is time to start looking. Try to see a few different homes in a few different neighborhoods that you might be considering, see what your variations are, and pick something within your lifestyle. If you have a child that's about to go to school, or something close to your work, or whatever your priorities are, this is the time to start narrowing those down and looking around. Resale value is a good thing that I like to discuss when people are looking at houses. A lot of people don't consider resale value. Data shows today millennials stay in your home for about 6 to 7 years, so most people don't even consider resale value when you're buying a home. But when it comes time to sell, you're gonna value the resale value. That sounds odd, but yes, you're gonna value the resale value because your resale value is what determines how much you can sell a house for. If you're buying a house a little below the average sales value on the street that you're looking at, chances are you're already making money on the purchase. You always want to be in the positive on the purchase. That's how I always advise people to do it. No matter if it's your investment or primary residence, you always want to be sure that when you're selling the house 2, 3, 6, 7 years down the line, you're going to be making profit after all the maintenance costs and after all the property taxes have been paid. Number 5 is inspection. Always do an inspection on the house. I advise this 90% of the time. You never know what an inspection could catch and save you hundreds and save you thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars. When you've decided on a home and you're ready to put in an offer, you put in a conditional offer based on inspection. Someone comes in, inspects the house, and tells you if it's green, there's no issues, or if there are minor issues and what their estimates are going to be. This gives you the best possible idea of how much you're going to be spending on getting that home up to par in the time you're going to be living in it. It also helps to give an actual value of what the house is truly worth. I know a lot of houses out there are overinflated just because of the market, but you get a better sense of what you're getting into, as opposed to getting into a house and finding out you need to change all the copper wiring, all of the electricals, and a few other things that can be very costly, like the roof. Always get someone to do an inspection because it could potentially save you quite a lot of money. Now, number 6, at this point everything is going great. You found a home, you've done the inspection, you're about to sign the paper, you have everything in line, making an offer that's smart. This is harder to say today than it was a couple years ago. With everything going on, especially in a market like Toronto, people are making thousands of dollars of offers over asking. You see houses registered for $500,000 going for $650,000. That's just the market today. Now, I don't want you guys to be over anxious on making an offer. A lot of people are going house poor today when they're making offers that are just purely emotional. Think of it as a business decision. That way you can think of the resale value, that way you can think of how much you're going to offer, and that way you shield yourself from making potential offers that might be financially detrimental. Now, if you do live in an area that each house doesn't get like 5 to 20 bids per home, then you can think of making an offer below asking. Start below asking. Sometimes the owner might come with a counter offer and then you can talk it through, but you're never offering above or more than what the place is worth. Also, ask your realtor and other market agencies to look at the value of the home and the area and what the potential resale value is in a few years, which again, it's not set in stone, but getting other people's opinion who have a better understanding of the area, the economy, and the market prices also helps pretty well. If you have any concerns, questions, I'd like to hear them and I do my best to answer. For now, my name is MJ. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.